Hi guys, welcome back to Surviving Infidelity. Today's story is the part 2 to the last video of my wife went out last night and didn't come home until this morning. If you want to see the first part of this video, just head to the channel. It should be the one that's uploaded before this video. Don't forget about the Patreon if you want to check it out. Check it out, it's in the description, and we'll get straight to the video. Okay, so update. Me again, folks. I'm sorry I didn't get around to this sooner. I wasn't able to get the day off work yesterday because my boss kind of sucks. I was a complete mess at work yesterday though, so I was allowed to take the rest of the week as vacation, thankfully. I think I went through all the stages of grief while my soon-to-be ex was sleeping. I wasn't expecting my post to get any attention at all. I just figured I needed to try to talk to someone about it because I was not in a good headspace. Like I said, this is why I love Reddit for that one reasoning. It's actually really good to people that need advice and to talk and rant about what happened. I made the post in the morning and by noon she was still sleeping in the bedroom. I had processed things a bit more and I had a rough plan in my head that was starting to set in motion. I made a short list of questions I wanted to get answered, gathered up all my important documents, laptop, etc. Then I went into the bedroom and started packing myself a suitcase. I know a lot of folks wanted me to kick her out. I did consider it, but honestly, I'm not overly attached to this place. We just rent, and I'm in a lucky enough situation to be able to say that paying half of the rent for a few months isn't going to financially end me. It'll sting a little bit, I won't lie, but I'll make it. And I feel like being around this place is only going to remind me of her anyways. I need to be looking forward, not back. I get that. That is actually true, because that place is just memories of her and you together. She ended up waking up about halfway through me packing my suitcase. There was a momentary confusion as she looked around the room and then she started bawling. I don't understand when people be doing that, especially you just told him what you did and now you're crying? You don't get to cry. Maybe this is awful of me, but I didn't bother comforting her. I would be angry if you comforted her, mate. That's not awful of you. I told her I had the screenshots of her Uber and her text messages from her phone, and that plus her confirmation was enough that things between us were completely done. She didn't answer me, just cried louder. I debated trying to continue the conversation, but I decided to just pack the rest of my suitcase and head back out to the living room until she came out. When she finally left the bedroom, she sat next to me on the couch and asked me if we could talk things through. I told her as calmly as possible that wasn't how things were going to work. I was the one going to ask questions. I wanted honest answers. She told me she'd be honest, so I proceeded. My voice was shaking the entire time. It was taking me everything to hold it together, but I kept going. I am so proud of you for doing that. So the first question was this the first time she had cheated? She started crying before she answered that, then told me no. She had cheated on me multiple times over the course of our relationship. It was, and I'm going to use her words exactly here, just intercourse. A way for me to let off steam. None of it ever meant anything. Then why did you do it? If you need to let off steam, do it with your boyfriend that you live with, that you meant to love. I wrote a comment shortly after making my post that all this love couldn't just fade away in one swoop. Well, it can. It hit me right then that I wasn't dealing with my wife. The person I was married to literally wasn't in the room. This was someone different. She refused to tell me exactly how many times she had cheated, just more than last night, meaning it's a lot. Okay, so the second question he asked was, has she used protection? No hesitation from her before she nodded her head empathetically. She seemed surprised I'd even asked that. What do you mean you cheated? Of course, that's a reasonable question. I'm still going to get tested just to be safe. I did some research into timing and I'm going to look after it. Third was, were her friends also cheating on their spouses? Yes and no. I tried to get her to tell me which one of her friends were cheating so I could get in contact with their spouses. She probably should have, because her refusal led me to messaging pretty much the romantic partner of all of her girlfriends I could find on social media. I'm so happy he did that because they all deserve to know. There are a couple I don't know or I couldn't find, but I did my part. Yes, you did. So the fourth question was, why did she do it? This was the answer that gutted me the most. I'm going to use her exact words again. I need to have some sexual variety. Okay. I told her that it's not like our intercourse life is dull. She clarified, it's not the same as something new. Then don't be in a relationship unless it's go find an open relationship if you want that. I didn't even have a response to that one. I just expected something about me working too much or not supporting her emotionally. Nope. She just effed other guys because she felt like it and wanted to have some fun. When I didn't respond, she started asking me about counseling and therapy. If you've done it multiple times, why would you not stop doing it? Like, how could he ever trust you again? I reiterated that our relationship was over. Good. I'd be leaving. What she did next disgusted me. My ex actually tried to have intercourse with me. She put her hands on me and started trying to take off my clothes. I felt like I wanted to vomit and pushed her away after a couple of seconds. She just kept telling me that she would figure out a way to fix it, that we would work through this together. I told her that there was no way, and she started bawling again. She went to the bathroom and locked herself inside. I don't understand how the cheaters can be the one that's upset like that. Like, you did it. What did you expect? I was just sick of everything at that point. I called her mother and told her what was going on. The full story too. The cheating, the questions I had asked, the fact that I was leaving. I always had a good relationship with my ex's parents. They both decided to drive to town, which was about an hour for them. Once I knew someone was on their way, I just grabbed my things and left. Her waterworks in the bathroom were just annoying me because it felt hollow to me, especially given the answers to my questions. I ended up packing another bag before I left and took all the things that I think of that I felt sentimental attachment to with me. I actually liked that he did ring the parents so she wasn't by herself, so, you know, even though she is the one in the wrong, you just never know what they could do, and you wouldn't be able to forgive yourself if they were to do something. So, and it's also good because the other parents know how bad of a daughter they have, a cheater of a daughter, should I say. I found a parking lot and sat in my car until I was able to get in contact with a buddy for a place to crash. I tried to take a nap, but I was running on way too much adrenaline. I knew when her parents had made it to her apartment because she started calling me. When I didn't answer those, she started texting me. She had gone from sad and crying to furious. I knew it. Apparently, I'm an effing piece of shit for telling my mother everything. Whoops. In brackets, I'm not sorry. I'm sure they would have found out, like, oh my god, why did he leave you? Why is he divorcing you? Oh, you cheated multiple times. Like, it would have came out no matter what. It just happened sooner than she probably thought. I received roughly 100 texts from her since leaving. They range from name calling all the way to begging me to come back, to sending me pictures of the food she ate for some reason. I haven't responded to any of them. I feel like I had said my piece before leaving. So that's where I'm at now. We didn't have joint finances, so that part was easy. I cancelled all the subscriptions that go to my credit card just to be sure, and changed all my important passwords. I'm crashing on a friend's couch for the next bit, but I've got some feelers out for some short-term rental places until I can find something more permanent. I've got feelers out for a divorce attorney too. A co-worker of mine had a recommendation, so bearing something better, I'll probably go with them. I also want to say that I was shocked how supportive everyone was, and thank you for that. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, it isn't easy for me to talk about emotional things with people close to me. This was an invaluable venting place for me. Thank you so much. I can't believe this girl really was like trying to play a victim and being sad, and then also was getting so angry about the parents knowing, but like, they would have found out anyways. Like, you know, like they would have known, and also how can you even act like you are this one sad when you've done this multiple times? And why would he even try to do counselling if you've done this multiple times already? What is stopping you from doing that again? Okay, so there is a final update to this story. Hey folks, I'm happy, I guess, to say that this will be the final update to what has been probably the most difficult chapter of my life. I felt an immense amount of support from the community here from my initial 2 posts. So I wanted to give a short update. Bottom line, my ex and I both signed the final papers for our divorce this week. It feels kind of surreal to think about that still. About 2 weeks into everything, she got resistant. I cut her off entirely and she refused to return my attorney's calls for a little while. Eventually, things got back on track. As for the infidelity itself, I don't have a ton more details to share with you. We did a short mediation, and by that time, I didn't feel there was any remorse on her end. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I talked about that a lot with my therapist. I'm in therapy, by the way. It still hurts that someone who I thought loved me could have apparently cared about me so little. but I'm working through it. That's really all I've got to share. Thanks again, everybody, for your advice and support. Good, he's in therapy. That's another big thing about these things. I feel like, I know, like I say, Reddit is a great place for this stuff, but I feel like something like this is such a big thing to happen that therapy would be a really good investment for yourself. So you can talk to someone about what's happened to you and work through those feelings. I'm happy that it's all cut off and that he's getting a divorce now and it's finalized basically. They've both signed the papers. It doesn't surprise me she feels no remorse either, because the way she just blurted it out that when she came home shows that she really actually didn't care. Let me know what you thought about this story in the comments. Don't forget about the Patreon link in the description if you want to check it out, and don't forget to like or subscribe if you'd want. And I'll see you in another video, guys. Bye!